Good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, May 29th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome here on a wonderful Wednesday morning. We welcome you to our program. Glad to have you. Glad that we welcome the sun today as well. Looks like a wonderful Wednesday going for us. Robert McDonald's here this morning representing Cedar Stone Bank. Let me go ahead and say good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
Nice to have you with us, of course. And Robert takes care of things in Donaldson. Of course, it's Cedar Stone Bank of Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, simple banking, simply better. Got to get that in there. I've loved your slogan from the very beginning.
From the start. 20 years.
20 years ago.
20 years last month. We celebrated 20 years.
And haven't you're still simple. You're still banking simply and banking better.
Yes, sir, we are. At least we sure do strive to do so.
How are things in Donaldson?
Everything's going well, Coleman. As you know, we talk about this a lot. Over the past couple of years, it's hard to believe we opened that new location in Donaldson. I believe that was in August of 2016, and seeing the growth in that Donaldson area and also Greater Nashville, that's naturally moved, of course, east here to Wilson County and also Donaldson. It's doing very well. It's growing tremendously.
Your previous location wasn't that bad. It wasn't that great either. It was a location, and it did fine, but where you got there is such an identifiable place, I think.
Yeah, the old Gideon's building, where we were right there at the intersection of Stewart's Ferry and Lebanon Pike at that time, it worked out great for us. Had a nice location, but as far as visibility, that was not there. A lot of folks in some previous jobs that I worked, when I said I'm now at Cedar Stone Bank there in Donaldson, they said, "Where is that?" And they passed by it all the time and never knew it. Mm-hmm. The visibility was not there, so we were looking for road frontage for a long time, and finally identified where we are now, and it's worked out great for us.
Well, I'm not sure I've seen you since your grandfather, Willie, passed.
I don't think we have.
But he meant a lot, and I know he meant a lot to Bob, but he meant a lot to you because you were there working side by side with him for several years.
Side by side, Coleman, as we talked about before, I had 2 other banking jobs before I came on to Cedar Stone, and having the opportunity, wanted to work with all 3, with Bob and Willie, but Willie and I were next door to each other every single day. So it was an honor and a privilege, and also a true mentor, and learned a lot from him. 70 years in banking, and he celebrated and passed away this past March. 54 of those at Third National. But having somebody, if you can just imagine what he saw throughout the years, the ups and downs of industries, and so a true mentor and a great man.
Yes, and he left an indelible print on the whole area banking wise, and I've talked to a number of people who you mentioned Willie McDonald. Oh yeah, he was my banker at one time or whatever.
I still hear those stories.
Money one time.
He lent me my first car loan, or he got me out of a jam here when I was young and starting a business, and so he made a true impact, and not only in the community but in people's lives.
So you've got a lot really to live up to.
I sure do. The pressure's on. The pressure is on, Cole.
But I may have interrupted your train of thought a little bit, but I think you said this on the air, but if you didn't, you were telling me. I mean, you're making a lot of loans. People are borrowing money.
People are borrowing money, even though, of course, the interest rate environment that we're in is much different than it was a couple of years ago. But, our local communities, the consumer confidence remains high, and people are borrowing money, starting businesses, buying homes, renovating their homes. And so the consumer loan demand is stable and is looking good for the most part in our communities.
And I understand too that it's pretty broad. You're in a lot of different ways that you lend money for. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not just homes, it's not just business, but across the board, going pretty well in all facets.
Across the board, auto loans, home equity lines of credit for renovations, small business loans for folks to either have some working capital or to grow their business. So in all aspects of lending, it's looking well.
You're probably not doing much refinancing right now.
We're not seeing a lot of refinancing, which in both ways of that. Also, people aren't just trying to compete and take loans out from us. So it kind of works both ways. But no, we are not seeing a lot of those right now.
Well, we would be remiss if we didn't mention your Simply Better free checking account. The free checking is wonderful, and you have the best free checking account that I've seen.
And it's been that way, as you know, for 20 years. We've never changed this product, and it's totally free. Free debit card use anywhere in the world. If you need to access your money out of an ATM, we reimburse that for an ATM fee, and these days that can be upwards of $5 to $6. Online banking, checks are free. every aspect of mobile banking. If you have a check, a mobile deposit, all features of that account are totally free, no minimum balance required.
And Bob has called it something else when he travels. Another word that he's used regarding that checking account, the way you reimburse the banking fees, and that's just going to the extreme, in my opinion, to do that, because some of those can be several dollars.
Bob will say, Robert, we're a global institution. You can use your card anywhere, and Cedarstone will take care of you. But it's a great feature. We realize we're not on every corner, so we want to be convenient for our customers, and it's a great feature to have.
Yeah, and you and I have mentioned this many times, as well as Bob, but banking is a relationship thing. You get your relationship established, then things can really go well. And the best way to get that started is with that free checking account.
Best way to start there at the free checking account. And we see a lot right now. I know we're almost out of time, but with college ramping up and the kids getting out of high school, congratulations, by the way, to your grandson with a 36 on his ACT. I think he beat me by at least 16 points on that. But it's a good way for even for freshmen in college and parents to open this free checking account, be on that account, and help manage that. And as these graduates go into college, can start that relationship with us, and we can help them throughout college, and then when they get their first job, we're the bank for them.
Robert, always good to see you. Have a nice trip back to Donaldson.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you next time, whenever that is.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coleman.
All right. Robert McDonald, he is he's one of the good guys at Cedarstone Bank. Simple banking, simply better. All right, 10 and a half minutes after the hour. You're not going to guess. You never guess who my guest is this morning if you wasn't here looking at him. It is a him. I'll tell you that much. But it's wonderful to have somebody that you can call when you need to be off for whatever reason. And I have a wonderful person. His name is Judge Barry Tatum, and I thought, well, why don't I get him to come out here and be a guest instead of guest host today? So he is with us. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, and thank you for the invite. I feel like you're sitting in my chair.
I can imagine that. How you been?
Oh, I've been fine. I appreciate the call, and just to follow up on something that Robert was saying about Willie. When you have a legacy like Willie McDonald, and you get to know him, you're old enough to know him, and in his case, work with him. And when they're called home, you get to hear all of these great stories over the years.
Yeah,
and it really puts into perspective what life is all about, and about being a good neighbor, being a good friend, being a good role model for others.
Well, the Willie McDonald story, I guess, that I remember the best and laugh every time I hear it. How that somebody asked him, did he remember all the people he lent money to? No, he didn't, but he remembered the ones that didn't pay him back. And unfortunately, that happens every once in a while.
That happens, and it's. I get kids a lot of times. They're adults, and they'll come up and they'll say, Judge Tatum, do you remember me? And sometimes I can, and but of course they. Sometimes they're in cases they're parents now, and I tell them, I'll say the ones that I really remember are the ones that really gave you fits. If it wasn't so bad, I'm sure it was bad to them at the time, but if it wasn't just a tragic situation, they tend to be in the masses. It's the ones that are noteworthy that are really a struggle.
How long you been sitting on the bench?
Since 1998, and I'm not good at math, so what is that, 26 years, I guess?
That's, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What prompted you to seek that job? Now you've had the same job all the time. You've been General Sessions Judge.
Division One.
Division One.
Since 1998. Last night I was thinking, what are we going to talk about? And we can talk about anything, and we need more than 30 minutes. But then I was thinking, that was one of the questions, what prompted it. I had a health scare in April of 1997. And intensive care, induced coma, and don't remember the month of April 1997 at all. And and took several months, but I made a full recovery. But when you have a life-threatening event like that, of course, I didn't know how bad it was. My wife and mom and dad and family were the ones that were struggling with the thing. I was just asleep. But once I woke up and I realized how serious it had been, it kind of, in my case, it made me kind of take focus of what am I doing with my life? And is there something I can do to contribute to get more satisfaction? I've always had an interest in helping young people, and that and some other folks encouraging me to consider running prompted me to do that.
Well, the thing that's really fascinating, intriguing, and whatever about that, especially political-wise, is who you beat and then who you worked with later on.
Yeah, Judge Barry. And Judge Barry is still out there around and still active. And but I think you and I talked about this when he ran for re-election after Judge Hamilton retired. And that you were asking me, I think it was you, said, "What do you do this?" And I said, "I don't know. He may not. I mean, if he did, he would be a formidable candidate in that race." And I said, "But I know one thing." I said, and this is not a knock on Judge Barry at all. I said, if I'm lucky to get to be whatever his age was at the time, 77, 78. At the time, I said, the last thing I want to be doing is going to work every day and listening to problems.
All right, it's time for us, maybe a little past time for us to take a break, and we'll talk more with Judge Tatum in a moment on Coleman and Company FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot, write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now a traffic, let's check in with Chuck.
Good morning. A couple of accidents still getting some attention out here. They seem to be just minor at this point, but here's what we're looking at. The heavy traffic developing up through the Antioch area on 24 westbound, coming past Hickory Hollow Parkway, Bell Road, coming in right now from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County towards Nashville. A little bit of radar reported just a few minutes ago on I-40 out in Dixon County as you come past 840 towards Kingston Springs. Looks good right now, down 65, down from the north there, out of Robertson, Sumner County, all the way down to Long Hollow Pike. Princess Hot Chicken has new items on a new menu. Check them all out today. They're delicious. PrincessHotChicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hey, this is Dr. Derek Gregory, and I'm proud to announce to you the opening of our brand new dental practice, Gregory Dental Group, at 1746 West Main Street, just across the road from Sports Village. Come experience modern dentistry at its best. We're always welcoming new patients, and I truly look forward to taking the best care of all your dental needs. Come by or call us today.
That's Gregory Dental Group, 615-444-0322, or online at mylebanonTNDentist.com. Gregory Dental Group, compassion, knowledge, skill.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane & Crowell. At the offices of Kane & Crowell, our team of experienced attorneys is here to guide you through every step of the process. With a proven track record of success and a commitment to our clients and our community, look no further than the team at Kane & Crowell to fight for your rights and provide representation you deserve. 615-784-4800.
Coleman and Company here on a Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us, and my thanks to Judge Barry Tatum for coming out to spend a few minutes with us. We were discussing the Reds. They won 4 in a row, swept the Dodgers at home over the weekend, and won Memorial Day against the Cardinals, and looking like maybe they'd come out of their swoon, and last night, back to normal.
Back to normal. If they can pull off some 5-1 records, do that for a month or two, we might get to 500. So.
Well, let's see. They were 24-30 before last night. I guess they're 24-31 now, and play the Cardinals this afternoon.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, they've they've got some pretty good starting pitchers.
Yes, sir.
The relief pitcher, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. The hitting has been suffering all season, really.
I wonder, not having Votto in the clubhouse, I don't know if that's had any effect or not. Of course, his better days are behind him.
Well, it's having some effect, I'm sure, but I somehow don't think it's that much. I don't know what the problem is, but there's that old saying, which I think is true, that good pitching is supposed to get good hitting, and usually does. But
those arms get tired once the hot weather
into
gets
the
here.
season, right? And I think they are trying to preserve the starters better this year than they did last. But if they need to hit the ball a little bit more. That's one of their weaknesses, in my opinion. And I don't know how it's going to go. We've got some interesting college baseball coming up.
Yeah.
I saw where Vanderbilt was number 2 seed, and where they're playing, and I've already forgotten. But they're I certainly wish them well, as I always do. Tennessee is a number 1 seed and hosting, and I don't know who they're playing, but they're probably most people are going to think they're going to win. They've been rated number 1 in college baseball, and came through the SEC tournament in good shape.
Where did Kentucky get seeded? Where did Kentucky get seeded?
I don't know. Well, Kentucky and Tennessee actually tied in the regular season, but Kentucky lost in the tournament down in Hoover, Alabama. And you're asking where they got to in
NCAA.
This weekend. I don't know, but I feel sure they're hosting one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's. I'm sorry that Cumberland didn't make it this year.
Yeah, I listened to probably more games than I have this season. I enjoy them, but they struggled with their pitching a lot. They gave up a lot of runs, and you and I had a conversation a few days ago when you and I think they beat the Dodgers, but it might have been a 3-1 game, and I said, 6 hits and 3 runs doesn't win a lot of ball games.
Yep. Well, switching gears a little bit here, you and I are sometimes like Mike Jennings and myself, that we could sit and talk sports all day. But there are other things.
Well, one thing I do want to say,
yes,
May 29th, Sid Cripps, Lebanon police officer, retired from Lebanon several years ago. It's his birthday, and I want to share a story that kind of reminded me about this.
Sid Cripps.
Sid and I have the same hairstyle, and the other day I was watching C-SPAN, and they were talking about federal spending, what the government spends money on, and a study had been done about. Did you know that 90% of bald men still have their comb?
I think I heard that somewhere.
They just can't part with it. Happy birthday to Sid Cripps.
Sid's a good guy.
Yeah.
What is going on now? How busy is your docket? And could talk a little bit about what's going on in your court.
Well, our dockets are busy across the board. Judge Lee, he's kind of, I guess, the most popular of all of our judges because he has standing room only crowds someday. The big thing that's going on right now, at least in the building up where the sheriff's department is located, where I am, and Magistrate Kennedy and Judge Lee, is the air conditioning system up there has been running pretty well since 2007, but for whatever reason, it's decided to start giving some problems. So they've had to go to these portable units that sit in the floor, and they have this flexible hose that goes up into the ceiling, and they make noise. And from what I understand, the parts that are needed to service the units that are on the roof are on back order, and it's going to take 8, 9, 10 weeks to get those in.
Oh, boy.
So everything has a lifespan, including the air conditioning units. So
you're talking about last of July, maybe.
Well, yeah. It's but that's okay. Some people pay top dollar to go sit in a hot room and sweat it off. But and I could use that. Use that, but Judge Lee certainly can't. But Magistrate Kennedy is really busy dealing with truancy cases and delinquency cases where kids have been charged with an offense, and I'm able to handle cases that are involving kids in foster care. Since Monday was a holiday, that's typically our foster care DCS court docket day. And whenever we do have a holiday on Monday, we go to the following Wednesday. So today we have a pretty busy docket. And a couple of the things that, or I've got 2 cases today where I'm rendering a decision on the termination of parental rights. And I like to say that, God decides who is born and when they die. And God also decides who's going to be a parent. And but there are some rare instances where society has decided that people's life should cease for some reason, death penalty, and cases, and then also termination of parental rights cases. I consider those to be as important as a death penalty case, because I'm making a decision that a person rights as a parent should be removed and ended, and that child be placed for adoption with someone else. So those are challenging cases. So I've heard the proof on the cases. One was a day and a half trial. The other one was a 12-day trial, I think. And but rendering a decision on those today. So
well, that's
what we do.
I know.
That's what we do,
and that's your job.
Yeah.
I don't envy you.
Well, it's
they're difficult decisions. They've got to be.
Well, and I've said this before. One of the things that I think a good judge, any good judge, is going to do is listen. I mean, that's probably the most important skill that you have is the ability to listen and take in information. But we also need to be aware of what our impact is, and I've said this repeatedly over the years that, and when you mentioned, since 1998 I've been doing this, I can make a decision about a custodial issue involving a child today, and long after I'm off the bench and long after I'm gone from this earth, that child will still be dealing with the issues that I decided about where they were going to live and who was going to raise them and who was going to take care of them, and during their formative years. And I think that's something we all have to have that long view about.
All right, we got about 2.5 minutes left here. I want to mention
time
there's
flies. Time flies.
Well, it does.
Yeah.
There's a proposed building to go across Rogers Avenue where the
Highland Heights Church of Christ was.
That whole property there belongs to the county.
Right.
And there was a vote on this the other night in the county commission meeting. And but your thoughts on what's happened so far and what might happen?
Well, first of all, is there a need? Yes. Is the need at a critical moment? I don't know that we're at that point, but we will be sooner than later. Right now, we have courts operating in 2 different locations: the old College Street Church of Christ property, College Hills property, or College Street Church of Christ property, and then up here with the jail. The idea is that we need to consolidate all of those courts into one place close to the jail, because a lot of the folks that, not only the criminal courts, but child support and custody cases, we have parents who are incarcerated from time to time. So it needs to be in close proximity. My big thing, and I've said this from day one, Coleman, is at the rate we're growing in Wilson County, if we're going to build something, that's great. But don't just build it for today or for the next 20 years. Build it with the anticipation that you're going to be getting 40, 50, 60 years service out of it. And my proposal for this, and the hospital, Vanderbilt, Wilson County did it when they built their tower. The judicial building did it when they built it in Murfreesboro, is to build the building with a floor or 2 that are empty, that are unfinished, just unfinished shells, so that when the population increases, and it will, and the court demands increase, and they will, that it won't be a matter of pouring concrete in a foundation and starting from the ground out, and you just basically finish out a room like you would finish out a bonus room above a garage or a basement in your house. It would be cost effective to do that. I was surprised about the vote the other night. I figured that there would be 5, perhaps 7 votes against it just because of the amount of money and the balancing of the issues of we're needing schools or employee pay raises or whatever issues that are faced with the county. But Mayor Hutto assures us that financially the county's in a good position to fund this, and the monies are available with no sort of tax increase. I will say that the group that's been put together for this has done an excellent job about getting feedback and designing a building, and I commend Mayor Hutto and Katz Binkley Morris of Mount Juliet, the architectural group, for listening to our concerns and coming up with a plan.
Okay, we were out of time. Thanks for being with us this morning. It's a little different role for you, but it's a good one this morning, and I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Coleman.
That is part 1 of Coleman and Company. We've got more, and we hope you'll keep it right here, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot. Write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota. 1506 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. A couple of accidents still getting some attention out here. They seem to be just minor at this point, but here's what we're looking at. The heavy traffic developing up through the Antioch area on 24 westbound, coming past Hickory Hollow Parkway, Bell Road, coming in right now from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County towards Nashville. A little bit of radar reported just a few minutes ago on I-40 out in Dixon County as you come past 840 towards Kingston Springs. Looks good right now, down 65, down from the north there, out of Robertson, Sumner County, all the way down to Long Hollow Pike. Princess Hot Chicken has new items on a new menu. Check them all out today. They're delicious. PrincessHotChicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedarstone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment or the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and see our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville, Cedarstone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Mostly sunny skies will continue for today with afternoon highs in the upper 70s. Partly cloudy tonight, lows in the mid-50s. And then sunshine continues for our Thursday. Afternoon highs back in the upper 70s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your Severe View forecast, I'm Storm Specialist Drew Richards.
We welcome you to part 2 of Coleman and Company here on a wonderful Wednesday, and it really is. I'm telling you, it's beautiful out there this morning, and we've had a lot of rain. There's been some bad tornadoes in different places too, but fortunately we've done okay here. Want to welcome John Langford. John, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and of course he's here to talk about what he does with Edward Jones, but something else you do is you have a band, and I heard some good things about that recently.
Yes, sir. And actually, if you don't have any plans on Friday at 6 p.m., we're going to be playing Rock the Block. My band Double Take is going to be there from 6 to 7. And then Stella Line Blues is going to be there at 7:30, but they're going to have several food trucks, and it's going to be a good community gathering spot. They're going to close down the square. So it should be a good, fun time.
Well, you come here each Wednesday now and have since you started this, and hopefully it's going to continue for a long time, to talk about what you're doing with your money and, for example, saving for retirement or whatever. And you've had some good lessons for us, and I'm sure you got another good one for today.
Well, today is a lesson that hopefully no one has to go through. But it's called fraud awareness.
Oh.
And that is something that, unfortunately, rears its head from time to time. And as we deal with people's retirement and life savings, one of the things that we look for is to make sure that we protect that. And there have been some instances where individuals have had fraud take some of their money away. And one of the biggest concerns that we have are with older clients. Unfortunately, one of the things that comes out is as you are older, guess what? You're around the house a lot more. A lot of our older clients still have landlines that they can find that number, or they can just go fishing for it from time to time. And we have to be very careful to watch after the money that we work so hard to build throughout time. One of the things that we look for is identity theft. If you see something that doesn't look right, guess what? It may not be right. And that is going back to the old adage, when you're in school, see something, say something. If you see something that looks funny, it's probably not a bad idea to call your financial advisor, to call your son or daughter, to tell your loved ones, hey, this looks weird. Just to get a second set of eyes on it, and also to make sure that it is what it's supposed to be. One of the other things that we've seen is caregiver fraud. We've seen instances where you have a caregiver in there that's supposed to be taking care of your loved one, and they may be also taking care of some things for themselves as well, and making
like
sure that you
jewelry,
money, credit cards.
Yeah.
You never want to give out your Social Security number to anyone who is not of an official status, and never do it over the phone.
Yeah.
You want to be able to see that person. That's one of the things that separates us from some other financial advisors of the world, because we do have a local office. We do like to see our clients. We do call them from time to time just to make sure they're doing okay. Some of the other things that we've heard is a grandparent scam, where you may have an individual call and impersonate their grandchild, and have an instance come up. And I don't know about you, but I know if my daughter or grandkid was in trouble, I'd want to help them. And that's the right thing to do, but you also want to make sure that that is that grandkid that is doing that, and not someone else.
That happened at my house, and my wife asked him, what's the grandson's name? And they hung up.
Exactly. And then also there's some red flags that come up as well. If you have someone that has just come up out of the blue, and all of a sudden you notice that they are around your loved one all the time, and they're not a grandkid, but they're kind of a stranger that just kind of popped in 6 months ago, it's okay to ask some questions. Because what they may be doing, they may be trying to get them to invest in a brand new company or something along those lines. And next thing you know, they think they're in love, and they give $50,000 to this person, then poof, they're gone. I'd love to say that never happens, but we've seen it happen before.
Just think what $50,000 would do invested with you.
And the other thing too, you can see that on your monthly statements next month too, when you look down and go, oh, it's still there. How about that?
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things that we've seen is through that, there are many different ways that, and we have a fraud protection unit with Edward Jones, where if we have something that comes up and that doesn't feel right, we'll go ahead and work with the fraud protection unit to make sure that those people's accounts are safeguarded, that we do know where the money comes out of. That's one of the things whenever we talk with clients, whenever they want to distribute money, if it's over a certain amount, we'll ask them why. And it's not because we're trying to be nosy, it's because of anti-money laundering laws, number one, but also it's for their own protection, too. Because it's very easy, and these scammers they're getting better and better at what they do. So you have to be more vigilant just to protect what you've got inside of there.
Well, we need to remind everybody that your office is located at 1424 West Padua Parkway, Suite C, right here in Lebanon, Tennessee. John D. Langford, CFP, certified financial planner?
Yes, sir.
And financial advisor, of course. And if you want to call him, 615-443-2090. Always good to have you with us, and I hope to see you Friday afternoon on the square.
Yes, sir. We're going to be rocking out starting at 6 o'clock, and it's amazing what this community can do whenever they go out, and we have a little fun together, too.
All right. Well, I'll see you next Wednesday.
See you, buddy.
All right. We're about night hour, 21 minutes it is, 21 minutes away from the hour, and I have invited Jackie Murphy, our Register of Deeds, to be with us this morning, to be my guest, and she is entering Studio B and sitting down and all ready to go here. Jackie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and it is nice to have you with us again. I hope your Memorial Day weekend was good.
Absolutely. Time off.
You weren't out campaigning, were you?
No. Thank goodness. That's in 2 more years.
You are a tireless campaigner when it's time to run, and you have proved that a couple of times now, I guess.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, it's good to see you. How's everything going?
Everything's well. They're going really well.
Tell us, for those who might wonder what's the Register of Deeds is all about, just kind of a thumbnail sketch of what takes place in your office at the courthouse.
Well, we record the deeds to every home sold, transferred in Wilson County, anywhere from quitclaim deeds to warranty deeds, executor deeds. We record the plat surveys of the county and notice of completions. You know, they're building every day, so we record those. That way the property assessor can have a record of when they're done, when to go out and pick them up for the tax roll. And then we have LLCs and charters, anything pertaining to property, land here in Wilson County.
Well, I think your predecessor, Bev Spickard, kind of revolutionized, if that would be the word. He changed a lot in that office in getting it into the computer age,
yes,
which
sir.
wasn't so before he took over. And you have continued this, no doubt, but it's pretty well done, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Actually, this year we just got a new server to handle all of our PCs. And on the 10th of this month, we're getting all new PCs. You know, everything is about speed now, and we're trying to keep up. And so we'll have everything up to date at the end of June.
Well, I know that there are fees generated with your office. There's certain costs that are involved with certain things that you come in there to do. And it's my understanding your office pretty well pays for itself. Is that right?
Yes, sir. That is correct. Although we do give money to the county as well.
You more than pay for yourself, we
exactly.
could say. But is that true with most counties in Tennessee, or do you know?
You know, I don't know about a smaller county. Some of our smaller counties are still kind of struggling to get up to speed with the bigger counties. So I really can't answer that.
Yeah.
I would say yes, but it depends on the volume of employees, etc.
Right. Well, I would think that the wages are not that different. I feel sure the bigger populated counties and where there's more transaction, you probably might make a little bit more, but those other people, even though they're come from a smaller county, they got to make a living too.
That's right.
So there's still quite a bit of cost there. If they don't have as many transactions, then it might have to be supplemented.
That's right.
Yeah, okay, but not here.
Yeah, we're doing good here.
So
thank gosh.
I guess we can say your office is a financial blessing to the county.
Yes, I would. We do contribute and help.
Yeah.
Every way we can.
Well, and you were. I mean, we've. It's a computer world, obviously, and computers can do a lot that it used to take a person a long time
Yep.
to do. But it has lessened the need for more people. I mean, you can do more with the same number of people.
That's right.
And how are you? How's your staff, and how's that going? I mean, are you fully staffed now?
Yes, sir. We are.
Yeah.
We are. I don't look to need anybody anytime soon. I don't see that anybody's going to retire. They seem to all be pretty well happy, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I have a great staff. I can always depend on them. You know, the one thing I preach about when I took office is that always be there for the customer. If it doesn't pertain to the Register of Deeds and they come to ask us, and it's just down the hall where they need to go, we take them down there. Because, you know, by the time you say, well, turn to the left, go to the right, they're already confused.
Yeah.
So, you know, customer service is huge. I think all the offices up there work together well. We help each other, and it makes smoother transactions for the customer. So, you know, between working with customers, being professional, dress codes, you know, Coleman, I don't allow eating at the desk because I don't want a customer coming in and you have an employee sitting there eating a doggone hamburger. Now, how professional is that?
You've got a place for that.
That's right. That's exactly
the
right.
back room or
A break room. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we need to take a break right here. Jackie Murphy, our Register of Deeds, is with us this morning, and more coming up on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. $59.95 up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, and safety check. 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Wrapping up an accident in Rutherford County, 24 eastbound at Shelbyville Highway. Traffic's on the increase now, quite a bit actually on 65 south here through Madison as you work your way past Briley. And there's still a lot of volume out in the Hermitage area right now. Watching that traffic build pretty good on 40 west there at Central Pike. Behind it, you got all that traffic being pushed in from Wilson County. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Middle Tennessee. Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Your 401k is likely one of your most important assets, but it's only one part of a comprehensive retirement strategy. Edward Jones can help you understand how your retirement assets fit into your entire retirement picture, so you can work toward meeting your unique retirement goals. Contact me, John Langford, your Lebanon Edward Jones financial advisor at 1424 West Bedore Parkway. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
When storms and tragedy strike, you as a homeowner have to protect yourself against out-of-state contractors who pressure you into signing away your rights. I'm Tim Leeper with Tim Leeper Roofing. We've seen thousands of times out-of-state door knockers using predatory tactics to gain access to your insurance claim. Don't let a bad contractor choose you. You've earned the right to choose your own local contractor. Call Tim Leeper Roofing and let us help you with your project at timleeperroofing.com.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. My thanks to Jackie Murphy for it. It's been a while since you've been with us. But
That's correct.
Yeah, it's
That's
good.
correct.
Good
You've
to
got
have
a lot going on, and, you know, this county's growing, and it's keeping you busy.
Well, how's growth? That's a good. Thank you for mentioning that, because that's something we need to talk about. What has growth done to your office?
Well, actually, Coleman, pertaining to maybe a couple years back, we've kind of slowed up on the number of documents coming in, and we've been that way for about a year. And I contribute some of that to the economy, to the interest rate.
Yeah.
Nobody is refinancing. And then some people that are going to go buy a home, they are holding back because of the interest rate. So it's made a difference in our office.
Well, you've the computer streamlined that office without a doubt, and you're talking about getting a new server? You said
We've got a new server, and then we're getting all new PCs. So, you know, we're gonna be flying.
How do we rate with the other larger counties? Our Register of Deeds up to date pretty much?
Yes, sir. Yes, we are.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And you were adequately staffed. You said, how many people in your office?
Let's see, 8.
8.
Yes, sir.
8 of you?
8 full-time people. We did have a couple part-time people, but it got to be where I just needed another full-time, and so I don't have part-time. I just got all full-time.
Well, now, do you answer really to anybody besides the voters?
Yeah, the customers. Anybody that walks in that office, I answer.
Well, I guess your office as Register of Deeds is kind of like the trustee or the assessor of property. Sir. I mean, there's certain rules and regulations that you have to adhere to and this sort of thing.
That's right.
But really, you answer to the voters, and if they like the job you're doing, hopefully they're going to reelect you and that sort of thing. But still, I know you. I guess you make a report to the county commission.
Oh yes, every quarter. Yes, sir.
How does that go? What do you tell them when you go up there?
Well, I tell them how many documents we do every month, what they are, how many web customers we have, the excess fee and the DP fees that we've collected, what the county's getting, what we've retained. It is a very detailed, and I'll tell you, since I took office in 2018, I still have the report so they can go back and look years back what we've collected, what we're doing, just to be accurate.
Yeah. Well, now let's talk about the people who need what you have available in your office, and I don't know who all we're talking about here. I'll be honest, I'm kind of ignorant of the whole thing, but I do know that because of computerization and this sort of thing, people can have access that they didn't remotely that they didn't have
That's
before.
Correct.
So explain that a little bit.
Well, it's our web search. There is a fee. It's $35. We do have one account that is a huge account for the realtors if they're members of MTAR. And right now we have approximately 237 subscribers. Mm-hmm. And we have every deed in the system, so it makes it easier for them to do their searches online. Mm-hmm. Now, I do express this. If they ever have an issue, I always say call, and we will email a document, help them with that. We do have one title searcher that comes in every day, still to this day, because he feels that it is a more hands-on, thorough search, and he's very good at his work. So we have him a computer downstairs, and he searches and prints off and etc.
Now, well, what are they searching for? What?
Title searchers.
All right.
Well, they're going to close on a home, so they have title work done, and they go back and see if there's any liens, clear titles, etc.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me of something you and I talked about probably the last time you were here, and that there are some people out there who specialize in fraud, who try to take advantage of other people. It has to do with the deeds, the quit claims, whatever. I express my ignorance, but I know that this has been a problem, and you have been, I think, at the forefront to try to make people aware and help them avoid this.
That is correct. We implemented the Fraud Alert program at the beginning of 2019. We were one of the very first counties to implement that. It is a very good program. The only kicker is I'm trying to, this is retrieved by your email. So in other words, you want to protect your property. You want to know if anything's recorded under your name fraudulently. Mm-hmm. So you're going to go in and you're going to go to our website, www.wilsondeeds.com. And when that comes up, you're going to see 6 blue blocks on the right, and you're going to click Fraud Alert. It's going to ask you to accept the conditions. You do. And then the next screen is where you're going to start entering your name and information. In other words, Charles Smith, Charles S. Smith, Charles Samuel Smith, and Charles Samuel Smith Jr. Any way you would have signed a document, okay? Enter it every time, and you would put your email address. And I'm telling you, it works. If you came in that afternoon, if you signed up today, and you came in that afternoon and recorded a document, you're going to say, hey, I got an email. Something's been recorded. Mm-hmm. And we'll tell you, oh, yeah, I was just there, wasn't I? But I've had people call me at night and panicking because they got an email stating something's been recorded. So I always say, call me. I know you're worried. I would be worried too. And so we've not had any fraud at this point that I'm aware of, and I'm thankful for that. I do want a different retrieving system. In other words, our elderly don't all have email accounts, okay? So at this point, I've been telling them to have their children or a good family member to monitor it for them. I monitor my parents.
Yeah.
And so, but I want them to add in the system text. Your elderly have a phone, and they can get a text saying this has been recorded. So I'm working on that. It's in the making. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm putting the pressure to it.
How involved is that to get it done?
They have to do the reprogramming and et cetera, and everything's time when it's a new program.
Yeah.
This company is serving half of Tennessee, and they're very busy. So I kind of got to get in line, but I really want to put this through because it will help a lot of individuals. Just like, I have my work email on my phone. I would know, or I have text. And I really emphasize for the elderly to please sign up. I don't care if you have to get your kids to monitor it, a best friend, whatever, somebody to monitor that, but sign up. I don't want to have anything happen to the people here, and we have had it all around our county.
Well, I did this when you were here the last time. Now, fortunately, I haven't had any emails telling me anything has happened. But that's it. You feel a little more security just knowing that if anybody comes in to do anything on my little...
You're going to know.
Yeah. And,
now, can we prevent fraud? No. Mark Pody's trying to put into legislation some different aspects to try to control it. I believe one that he come up with this year, it was tabled. So we're trying to come up with different ways. I don't know how many notaries are in this country. I mean, there is a lot of notaries, and we don't have a list of everyone in every state because we get documents out of state. But if it looks and appears to be notarized and it has the signatures, there again, I don't know what your signature looks like, Coleman. So it could be a fraudulent signature and a fraudulent notary, and it can get recorded. Now, when that happens, such as in Davidson County, a gentleman, parents passed away at the first of the year, and he let the home sit there. He didn't know what he was going to do, if he was going to sell, rent, or whatever. And so in the fall, when he went to go pay the property taxes on his parents, that's when he found out that a quitclaim had been recorded transferring their property into this person's name. Now, there again, he had to take legal action. And was it rectified? Yes. Did the person go to jail? Yes. But you got to find them, It takes work.
And there's probably some cost involved for the legal expenses.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But I can say this. If they had signed up at Fraud Alert, they would have known before 6 or 7 months down the road. And so emphasize that. I want to reach out to every banker that closes on homes, come by and get my brochure and hand them out to every closing. Realtors, come by the office. I want you to take brochures and hand them out when you make a deal. Just word of mouth.
This is a pretty simple process.
Simple. Won't take 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I know Judy Cox and them, I've took them flyers, and they've been pushing it for me. And First Freedom Bank, they have some brochures. So we just got to get the word out.
Well, it's something I certainly appreciate that you and your office are doing here to help because, and I think that the more that those fraudsters, we'll call them, that might be prevalent, the more they see of this, the less likely they are.
I hope so, because those folks work harder at trying to take what's yours than to work for what is theirs.
Yeah.
And that's sad. It's sad, but Nevertheless, it will be work if this happens to
Well,
you.
if somebody wants more information about this, is it okay for them to call
Absolutely.
your office? And you can help even maybe walk them through
Yes,
this.
absolutely. 615-443-2611.
443-2611. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, Jackie Murphy, it's we've got 1 minute left. Anything else you want to say before you go this morning?
No, I just want to say that anybody that ever comes up to the courthouse, stop and say hello. I love talking to the people. Sometimes it makes my day.
Well, you have made our day by coming out this morning and sharing your thoughts with us, and glad that things are running well, and you're making the county a little bit of money.
Making a little money. I think the county's making themselves a little money.
Well, beautiful day. It's
Yes,
it's a wonderful Wednesday, and we hope that you enjoyed it, and hope you've enjoyed our program enough to join us tomorrow for the Thursday edition. But Jackie, just keep up the good work, and we'll have you back again one of these days.
I appreciate it, Coleman.
Right.
You have a good day.
All right, that is it for Wednesday. Join us tomorrow, please, and until then, I wish you a wonderful day.